Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's call. My name is John Paul, and I'll be your moderator for this event on veterans benefits and what the Department of Veterans Affairs is doing to ensure South Carolina veterans continue to receive the benefits they have earned. In a few short minutes, we'll start taking your live questions. If you'd like to ask a question, just press *3 at any time. I'm pleased to introduce a very special guest we have on the line, Dr. Paul Lawrence. Dr. Lawrence is the Undersecretary for Benefits at the VA. He oversees almost all benefits for every veteran across the country. That includes everything from disability compensation to pensions to education benefits and home loan benefits, just to name a few. Pretty much any benefit you can think of outside of health care. Dr. Lawrence is a veteran himself. He attained the rank of captain in the Army, and he comes from a family of service members. His father was a career Army officer who served in Korea and Vietnam and is buried in Arlington Cemetery. He knows firsthand what it's like to enter into the VA system, and that's why he is working hard to make it better every single day. Dr. Lawrence, thank you first for your service, and thanks so much for doing this call today and being willing to speak openly with South Carolina veterans during this very difficult time.
Thanks, JP, and thanks to everyone who's joining us on the phone today and taking the time to be with us. I'm going to answer your questions live in a few minutes, so if you'd like to participate, press *3 at any time, and we'll do our best to get to you. All I ask is keep your questions brief so that I can get to as many South Carolina veterans today as possible. I'll be talking about benefits available from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, but also understand that the state of South Carolina offers its veterans benefits, and you can learn more by visiting the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs on the web at scdva.sc.gov, or you can call them at this number, and I'll say it twice, 803-734-0200. Again, South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs, 803-734-0200. Now, let me explain why we're doing this and make a request of our South Carolina veterans and family members. We're doing this for two reasons. First, we're connecting because there are new benefits and programs that we administer. We want to reach out to our veterans we may have missed in the past and let them know of these. Second, and most importantly, we want to let our veterans know that VA is truly changing. We are far from perfect, but we are better today than we were just a few years ago. We continue to work to become more accessible, more accountable, and more agile so we can be more responsive to the challenges our veterans face. We know that in the past, some of our procedures were an obstacle to get benefits to our veterans. That's why I'm on a personal mission with full support of VA Secretary Wilkie and President Trump to make things better for veterans and to make things right for those of you who feel we let you down. Now my request of all South Carolina veterans. Please share this with your friends who are veterans or family members of veterans. Let them know we are here and we want them to give us a chance or a second chance to provide them with the benefits they've earned. Pass along the helpful information we'll share over the phone today. Encourage them to reach out to us and give them our toll-free number, 1-800-827-1000. You're our best allies ensuring we reach all those who have served. Now, JP, let's discuss the agenda real quick before we go to questions.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take questions for the better part of the hour, and I'll either answer questions or we'll take actions on our veterans' issues. Our VBA team of benefits experts is listening in. I may have offer to have someone call a veteran back if we need some personal information or to get better understanding of how we can help. If our team follows up with the veteran while we're on the phone call, we'll let others know about that because it's important you understand that we really do deliver on this promise. Can't promise a result, but we can connect with you and better understand. And every 2 or 3 phone calls or 2 or 3 callers, I'll provide a brief update about some of the things going on at VBA. Important numbers or information that should help our veterans. So please have a pencil and paper available so you can copy those down. A recording of this session will be available on our YouTube channel tomorrow, Veterans Benefits Administration YouTube channel. and that'll be posted at noon tomorrow. And afterwards, I'll do a short synopsis of this, about a 5-minute video that I'll post on my LinkedIn account. So, JP, let's go to questions so I can help as many South Carolina veterans today as possible.
Yes, sir. I just want to repeat some general information first. You can visit us at va.gov, that's victoralpha.gov, or call us at 1-800-827-1000 at any time to learn more about filing a claim or any other VA matters. I want to take a moment to relay the numbers for our crisis line, which is active 24/7, 365. If you or someone you know is in crisis, please call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or if you prefer to text, you can text 838-255. That's text 838-255. And don't forget that at any time during this call, you can press *3 if you would like to ask a question. Going to the phones, we have Jasper up first. Jasper, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Jasper.
Hey, how you doing, Doc? Hey,
good, thanks.
I've been having tendinitis I got military in 1981. I've been having it ever since. I just recently found that you can file for a claim, so I filed a claim in 2019. I got back that it's been that it's been military related, so I'm still waiting on the appointment. They said I live outside the 45-mile radius, so they got to get approval for them to pay for mileage. I've been waiting for probably about a month and a half, almost 2 months now, to see a C&P examiner.
Okay, Jasper. Well, I'm really glad we connected because I do know that travel expenses are available, okay? But let's figure out what's going on, Jasper, because, that's odd. So I tell you what, Jasper, let's figure out how we can help. Let me have one of our team call you and look in on your situation, all right? So we firstly want to figure out what we can do to get you a C&P exam, closer and appropriate, because we're really trying to get our veterans in to do the C&P exams. But Jasper, while we have you on the phone, I'll ask our team to look in on your claim. So once we get the C&P exam done, if there's anything else we need from you, we can figure out how to help you with that now. I'm glad we connected, Jasper. Let's look in on this together. One of our team will give you a call. We'll try to understand what's taking place and why it's taking so long, and then figure out also, while we have you on the phone, if your claim is complete and what else we can do. So thanks, Jasper. We'll give you a call, try to understand what's taking place.
For our next caller, we're going to move to James. James, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, James.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you doing, and how can we help?
All right. Look, I served in the military of 1981, 1985. I've got frostbitten when I was in New Zealand on a field training exercise. I've been filing this claim since the 90s. I've only had one C&P, and that C&P, the doctor said everything stems from my body comes from when I was frostbitten in New Zealand. The answer I got back from the DAB on this time, after like the third or fourth, fifth, sixth time that they turned me down, they have no record of me ever being in New Zealand.
Oh, wow, James, that's odd. So you're right. That's odd. Let's figure out what we can do, James. So you filed a claim. It's been denied. I know things were different back in the 90s when you did this. So let's figure out, how we can get you a second chance at this and see what's going on. All right? And it's certainly troubling to hear about them having no records of this, because I'm suspecting you gave us records once before. And it's certainly disappointing to hear you've gone back and forth with this a couple of times. I'll tell you what, James. Let's have somebody give you a call. I know you went through that very quickly, and I appreciate that, so we can get to as many calls today as possible. But we really need to look in on your situation and see what's taking place and why that's gone the way it has gone. Now, I will tell you, James, we're pretty energized to try to make things better here. The Secretary talks about, not being your father's VA like, back in the day when a lot of things happened. So I'm really glad we connected with you, James. Let us look in on this and see what a path forward is and what's going on, what's missing, and what we can work together on to figure out how we get you to a better place. So thanks for connecting with us, James. Appreciate your patience. Let us call you and figure out what's going on and how we can help.
Thank you for the call, James. For our next caller, we have Gene on the line. Gene, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Gene.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Hey, quick question. Basically, I was hit by 18-wheeler on duty, but there was a previous injury on file that was also on duty that was never documented through my LOD. Basically, like, I can't even turn my head to the left anymore. Filed my claim with the VA. I'm actually still in the National Guard. And they said that the injury is, like, normal because it's of its natural progression. I've had the nerves burn out of my neck. I've had multiple injections. And now I'm looking at surgery, but the VA is still claiming that the injury that I sustained recently is from the natural progression of something that happened in 2014.
Okay, Gene. So let's see. Let's figure out how we can help. I understand what you're saying, and here's what I want to have someone do, Gene. I want to have someone give you a call to help us look in on this, because part of what you're describing is it connecting to your service, right? And so if there weren't records of it, at the time this all happened, there are some other things we do to try to get evidence that it took place in service. I also know that what we spend a lot of time doing is encouraging our veterans to come back and talk to us because conditions worsen over time. So the combination of those two, Gene, really, make me ask a lot of questions about what's taking place. Let's leave it as this. Let's have somebody call you so we can look in on the details. I know you moved through this quickly, and I appreciate that. Let us understand the details, look in on this, and see what's going on. See if we can't figure out a path forward, what's possible. I don't want to speculate on what's possible. Give you some. Let us look in on this, Gene. Work together on where we should be going with this. I'm really glad we connected, Gene. I'm really sorry to hear about your journey. Let's figure this one out.
And, sir, before we move on to more questions, do you have a benefits update for our audience?
Yes, please. I'd like to tell our South Carolina veterans about a new program we established last year called the Veterans Benefits Banking Program. We are very worried about our veterans who receive their benefits the old-fashioned way in a check or a prepaid debit card. Your check can be lost, it costs money to get it cash, and the like. We really want to encourage all our veterans to get their benefits electronically deposited into a bank or checking account. If you go and search the Veterans Benefits Banking Program on your computer, you'll be brought to a page that says, I want an account. Click there. You'll see 33 banks and credit unions who will offer free checking accounts to our veterans to have their benefits electronically deposited, okay? Veterans Benefits Banking Program. It is safer. It is better. You'll recognize the banks and credit unions. They're regulated by the federal government. They have great customer service, and they have locations. So please, if you know anybody or you are such a person who's getting their benefits via a check or a prepaid debit card, please get a checking account and have your benefits electronically deposited in that every month.
That's a great piece of information for our audience, sir. Going back to the phones, we have John on the line. John, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, John.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi.
How are you, Dr. Lawrence?
Good, thanks. How are you doing, and how can we help?
I was I have PTSD, and it's diagnosed and it's in the paperwork, but it's gone before the board, and it's been over a year, and I haven't heard back from them.
Okay, John. Well, there's so you're in the old appeals process, and you're in front of the board, and the board has a docket that has a certain queue in it. So you're experiencing that. I tell you what, John, I'd very much like to have one of our team call you, and let's talk about a couple things. I'll ask them to look in on where you are in the docket and see what we can tell you, okay? And I'll also ask them to look in on see what's going on as to how you got there and see what we can possibly do to anticipate what the board might say so we can be prepared for that. The other thing I'll point out, and I want to manage your expectations here, John, because the board works, who's in the the appeals process a certain way. There are some ways to expedite, something in front of the board. It has to do with age, hardship, terminal illness. So we'll ask you about that and see what is possible. So, John, I'm sorry it's ended up with the board. I'm glad you're paying attention to it. I'll have our team call you, look in on it, see what we can do in terms of getting you some better information about what's possible, and then we'll ask you about potentially, some features that might make it, we could expedite it. But again, I don't want to overpromise, John. So thank you for calling. We'll be in touch with you, and we'll try to figure this one out.
Thank you for your call, John. For our next caller, we have Teresa on the line. Teresa, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How can we help?
Well, I submitted a claim April of 2018, and I'm still waiting. I don't even know if there's a rating. I don't know. I got a letter stating that I think it went in front of the board in June, and I had 90 days to apply for it. I reached out to a VSO, and she told me not to do anything, just to wait for it. And I called the VA, the 1-800 number. I think it was day before yesterday, and I was put on hold a bit to get connected to someone to see where I was in line. But I waited on the line for like an hour, and I guess I got disconnected. I never got reached out to someone.
Okay. Well, Teresa, I'm sorry to hear about that. Let's figure out how we can help, okay? So we need to look in on this situation and see if we can get some information. I understand you kind of moved through this at a high level. Let's look in on this and see what's going on, see what we can tell you about your claim and where it is. When I'll have one of our folks give you a call who can, get your personal information to look in. I'll ask them to do a couple things. Where is it in our process, and what is it that we need to get, either working with you or we will go get it, in terms of evidence to help us, figure out what a decision would be, Teresa. So I'm glad you were working for a VSO. Not so certain that's the advice we would ask them to give you, but let us see what we can do, Teresa, figure out where it is and what's possible. I'll ask one of our team to give you a call, and we'll look in on this and see what's taking place. So thank you, Teresa. Give us a chance to connect with you, see where it is and what's possible.
Thank you for the call, Teresa. For our next caller, we have Manuel on the line. Manuel, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Manuel.
Hello, Dr. Lawrence. Hello, Dr. Lawrence and everyone. My question is, I'll try to make it quick because it's complex. I have an appeal going on from 2010. And in 2017, I applied for IU, which was granted like a year later. But that appeal is still ongoing from 2010 for other conditions that I feel pretty strongly are service-connected. Some veterans, I was rated permanent and total in 2018 or 17 at IU, but some veterans tell me you should just withdraw your appeals. And then some other veterans say you should keep going because that way you may become scheduler rating, because I'm at like a 92 point something. Mm-hmm. And I feel my claims are very strong, and I believe they're service connected. My fear is that some other people tell me that they could, as a result of these appeals from 2010, take away my 100%, because even though it's not my fault that the VA took 10 years to look into my case. You get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, Manuel. I'm really glad you called. So I want to clarify a couple things, okay? I mean, all veterans at any time are eligible, are able to come and apply for benefits, okay? You can do this whether you're 0% or no percent or 100%. It's totally up to you. So we would advise you to, make a decision about what you want to do. There's lots of reasons why you should continue on, okay? The way the thing they told you is, generally not true. So let me explain, okay? We do what we call re-examinations from time to time for conditions that our veterans have that we believe will get better. So, for example, easy way to think about it is you went into the hospital, we pay you an extra benefit while you're in the hospital. Once you leave the hospital, we turn that benefit off, okay? That's an easy example because I'm not a medical doctor, Manuel, and I don't want to give you an example that would be factually incorrect. But the point of this is when we do a re-examination, we contact our veterans and we give them, the right to a hearing, you have due process, 60 days, you're allowed to come with new evidence and the like. And about only 5% of the time in FY19 did we actually go back and reduce benefits. So I doubt the conditions you're having, but I don't want to speculate too much, are those that would enable them to get better. But if they could, this process would play its way out the way I described. So, no, I don't think it is likely that could happen. You're in this process. But I tell you what, Manuel, I know I went through this quickly, and I know your case, by the way you described it, is more complicated. I'm going to ask one of our team to call you and talk to you about your situation just to make sure there's nothing we missed in our exchange that, makes what I told you not spot on. Okay, Manuel? So I appreciate your patience. I'm glad you worked through our system and got, P&T, and we'll figure out what the situation is for your appeal. And again, it's totally your choice, and we'll figure out what's in there to make sure that we're comfortable with where you are and any concerns you have.
And, sir, before we move on to more callers, do you have another benefits update for our audience?
Sure. Just to ask our help from our South Carolina veterans and family members with homeless veterans. If you are on this phone call and you are a homeless veteran, or if you're not and you see somebody who looks homeless and you think might be a veteran, please call this number. It's our homeless hotline, 877-424-3838. If you call this number and you are homeless, there are resources available for homeless veterans. There were even more given to VA in the CARES Act the President signed in the spring. If you are not homeless, but you see somebody who is, you think might be a veteran, you call this number, they will ask for the location, and someone from VA will go see if these people this person is a veteran, and if they are, get them resources and help. So again, the homeless hotline, 877-424-3838. And finally, if you are homeless, walk into one of our medical centers, talk to the greeter, tell them you're homeless, and they will begin to assist you. So thank you, JP.
Thank you for that information, sir. For our next caller, we have Richard on the line. Richard, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Richard.
Hello.
Hello, Richard. How you doing?
I'm coming along very well, sir. That's why I'm calling. My case goes back a little bit further than the other cases that I heard so far. But what I did back in April 27th of 2018, I wrote Senator Lindsey Graham, and the information that he was supposed to be verifying about my location and where I live and everything like that, he put the wrong states and stuff like that on there, and the letters came back from the Supreme Court of Appeals, and I have written them back, and I haven't gotten any information from him yet. My lawyer said that they have called and sent letters to the Board of Appeals 3 times, and they hadn't gotten anything back yet. I could give you my case number.
No, Richard. Richard, hold on. I don't want you to do that over the public phone. There could be 10,000 people listening to us right now, Richard, and unfortunately, some of them could be bad actors. So I'll tell you what, Richard, I do want to follow up on this and understand what's going on. I do want to have one of our folks give you a call, and then we will take that information and we'll look in on it to see what's going on. Now, we appreciate that if you're represented by counsel, you have a lawyer. We will work carefully to make sure that relationship is protected and we understand what you've chosen to do by hiring a lawyer. But let us see if we can't help you. I'm sorry to hear, you've written letters and we can't get you the answers. Let's figure out how we can do that, Richard. So again, I appreciate you not sharing personal information over the phone like this. Let us call you. We'll get one of our folks to work with you. We'll better understand what's taking place, see if we can get you some information. And we'll also I'll ask our team to look in on and see what's going on, if there's anything else that your claim needs that will help us evaluate it and decide. So thanks, Richard. I really appreciate you connecting with us. Thanks for your patience. We'll be in touch with you and try to figure out, what's going on and what the path forward is.
Thank you for the question, Richard. For our next caller, we have George on the line. George, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, George.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, George?
Hello. I'm doing well. I'm calling because I have back in 2010, my patient wrote a letter on my behalf. I got a denial behind it because they said she was a nurse practitioner and not a licensed MD. Mm-hmm. What can I do? What can I do to appeal that again to try to get that rectified in today's situation? And will I still be able to use that letter?
Sure, George. So let's talk about a couple things. So let me give you the answer of how we're going to help, and then I'll drive some information for you and other veterans, okay? So I want to have one of our team call you so we can look in on your personal situation that you're describing so we give you the right information, okay? So the answer you're asking is, I am unhappy with the decision you've rendered. How do I appeal, okay? And so there is a new appeal process that started in 2019 that gives you 3, we call them lanes, but 3 options for you, right? 2 of them are run by the Veterans Benefits Administration. One is called Higher Level Review, where a more senior person looks at it. One's called Supplemental, where a veteran provides more information. And the third is to go to the Board of Veterans Appeals. We will explain those to you and see what's relevant based on your situation. In terms of your letter, okay, the answer is it may be used, but we may also ask you to go do a C&P exam so somebody else can validate the conditions or whatever is appropriate, so we make sure we have the right evidence to give you a decision upon which we can base our decision. In addition, if there's anything else we're missing, we'll try to figure out how to collect that with you, records and the like. We may ask for, if you've seen a private medical provider, the permission to go and get those records to help us do it. Now, George, after we explain that to you, we'll also point out that there are service officers available from South Carolina. Many counties in South Carolina have service officers, and they're available to help our veterans with their claims and appeals at no charge to our veterans. So if you would like somebody to help you that way, we can arrange to connect you with one of those folks, George. So I'm really glad you called, because we do want every veteran to know that any decision we make can be appealed if you're not satisfied, and there is a much more streamlined appeals process than back in the day when it took 3 to 7 years, which is why the new appeals modernization process was started. So thank you, George. We'll reach out and work with you and see what the options are and see if you need a service officer to help you.
Thank you for the call, George. For our next caller, we have Emmanuel on the line. Emmanuel, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Emmanuel. Hello? Emmanuel.
Yeah, listen, yeah, I just spoke earlier about how to get the laptop through Voc Rehab.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was one of the veterans told me that I can there's a way I can procure a laptop for school through Voc Rehab, and I was trying to see how true that is and how I can possibly get that, please.
Sure. The answer is yes. Yes, it is true, and the way it works is, Emmanuel, and I think we're going to have to follow up and help you with this, right, is once you're into the Voc Rehab program, we now call it Veteran Readiness and Employment, you work with your counselor and you develop a program, a course of action to, increase your training and the like. And whatever the supplies are that, you agree with your counselor on, are paid for by your benefits. So if you're in school, for example, and you need a laptop to continue in school, you would get one of those. If you are doing something else and there certain supplies are needed and they're approved by what we can provide, you would get that, Emmanuel. So listen, but I know there are a lot going on when you called. Let's have somebody call you and see if we can't spend a few more minutes with you and better understand your situation. But you're right, the VRE benefit is very powerful. A lot of veterans use it, especially now in this time of the world when they had a job and they lost the job because of the pandemic, or they had a business and the business closed and they don't think it's coming back. So a lot of our veterans do turn to VRE. Now, the last thing, Emmanuel, I will tell you, you have to be service connected to use VRE, okay? But maybe they'll talk to you, too, about using your GI Bill benefit. So I'm really glad you connected, Emmanuel. We'll have someone follow up and answer other questions you may have about, what gets covered when you join VRE or other educational opportunities.
Thank you for the call, Emmanuel. For our next caller, we have William on the line. William, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, William.
Hi, Dr. Lawrence. How are you?
Good, thanks. How you doing, and how can we help?
Not so good. I was diagnosed with PTSD, a stress anxiety disorder. I have hardware and rod fusing cages in my back. I have multiple levels in my cervical area that need repaired. I have been fighting ever since, I guess, pretty much 2014 when I lost my pain management therapy to get some kind of replacement. And I was on pain management for 16 years and never had an infraction, never had an abuse. Everything rolled along perfectly. It's just that I had a perfect life storm. My house got foreclosed. My car got stolen. And I couldn't make my appointments. And I was, a little while ago, last year, I was living under a bridge, homeless, and I got seriously ill. I had to go to the hospital. For 3 days, I was in ICU. I had a staph infection and double pneumonia and a fungal infection in my right lung. I almost died. But currently, I'm at the Austin Wilkes Veteran Home in Greenville, and these folks are taking care of me great. I did get my HUD-VASH voucher, but my question is, I need to have a review and CMP done because I had talked with legal counsel. I don't have an attorney at this time, but they said that because of my condition and my past history, that I am 100% unemployable. And how do I go about getting that taken care of and getting some proper treatment for my mental disorders?
Sure, William. I tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. As soon as you hang down, we're going to have somebody from our team call you because I am worried about you, William. Now, sorry, we are, okay? And we're going to have someone connect with you, and we're going to figure out how we're going to help. We're going to see what we can do in terms of your situation to make sure you are safe, and then we're going to get you some help to figure out how you can appeal how we can look in on your situation, your claim, and how we can help you figure out a path forward, whether it is an appeal, whether it is simply filing a claim for an increase. We will connect you, if you'd like, with the service officer from a county in South Carolina that can help you with this at no cost to you, and we will describe the different paths forward. But, William, I do want you to know, nothing saddens me more than when I hear our veterans talking about fighting with us, because that's not the way we want it to be, right? And so when the system works the way it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be fighting with you. We're working together, and we're supposed to be fighting with you, which is why I'm doing these calls, William, to reach out to veterans and try to figure out what's going on and how we can, if not make it perfectly right, at least get this to a better place. So, William, we're going to call you as soon as you hang down. We're going to connect with you. We're going to figure out a path forward and what we can do to help you with the different situations you were describing. So thank you, William. I'm really glad you connected with us. Appreciate that very much, and we're going to call you. Please take our phone call in a few minutes. JP, before we go on, I just wanted to update our folks on, assisting veterans.
Yes, sir.
Our response team has been working with veterans. John was on early talking about an appeal update, what was going on. We're working with him. And Gene was on also talking about a claim update. So I do want folks to know we are reaching out as we promised. We're connecting with our veterans, seeing how we can help and see what a path forward is and how we can help work on that with them.
And it's great to know that our response team is making live follow-ups on the spot. For our next caller, we have Catherine on the line. Catherine, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Doctor. How you doing?
Good, thanks. What's up and how can we help?
Okay. Actually, my father is the veteran. I'm his caregiver, so I'm his fiduciary also.
Uh-huh.
But I've been talking to people at the VA, and they're telling me, some people are telling me that I'm supposed to be getting paid for taking care of him because he gets around-the-clock care because he had a stroke in 2014. And when I go to the VA, they telling me, no, I'm not supposed to be getting paid, but other people that getting paid for taking care of their siblings or friends or whatever, they're getting paid through I don't know if it's through the VA or
right.
I don't know how it works, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see, am I supposed to be getting paid or am I not?
Well, so Catherine, it is possible, but there are some conditions. So I don't want to say it depends, but that's the answer, okay? So here's what we want to do, Catherine. I want to get someone to call you to look in on your father's situation and you and better understand where you are and describe to you the possibilities. Two things come to mind, but I want our team of experts to work with you to make sure we've gotten this right. One's called aid and attendance, where the folks who provide aid and attendance to the veterans, get paid as you described. The other thing is there's a new part of a law the President signed a couple of years ago called the Mission Act, and the new part of the law is called caregiver, which does in fact allow the caregiver to be paid the way you're describing. It's a relatively new thing, so the folks you talked to a little while ago might not know it. I'll ask our team to talk to you about aid and attendance, also caregivers, and then help figure out, how you go about, doing either of those. And again, if you need assistance, we can get you a service officer from one of the counties in South Carolina. But for Catherine and others, I do want you to know if you want to go directly to the caregiver program, there is a number, and I'll say it twice. It's 855-260-3274. Again, it's more information about the caregiver program, 855-260-3274, and that's on our website, too, on va.gov.
Thank you for that information, sir. For our next caller, we have John on the line. John, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, John.
Yes. Hello. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How can we help?
Well, I don't have no complaints with the VA. They treat me very nice. The only concern I have, when I called the local clinic or called Columbia, the VA Columbia, Dorn in Columbia, we can't never get nobody to pick up the phone. It is very frustrating that we got a medical problem. We have to wait. I wind up calling the nurse, and I get results when I call her.
Sure, John.
It's very frustrating. Y'all there to take care of us, and y'all, like I said, I have no complaints with the service I've been getting for the past 10 years. I'm real satisfied with my doctor here at the Florence Clinic and my doctors over there at Dorn. Have no complaints. But
okay.
Talk to somebody over there is like pulling hen teeth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, the care is provided by our colleagues in the Veterans Health Administration. Okay, John? So let me see how we can help. It's great to hear they're giving you good medical care, and I'm sure they would like to hear about the situation you're describing in terms of the phone not answering, because I know they pride themselves on, trying to make sure that goes well. To be honest with you, John, I'd like our folks to give you a quick phone call so you give them a little more detail, because when I share this with them, they're going to want to know some specifics so they can run this down and see what's going on. So bear with us when our folks call you. And find out a little bit more so we can help get some information and see if we can't do something to improve the timeliness of them answering the phone. So thanks, John, for connecting. Really good to hear about your care, and we'll also take down the information about who's giving you great care so we can also share that with them.
Thank you for the call, John. For our next caller, we have Dennis on the line. Dennis, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, and how can we help?
Well, I had an issue that I've been trying to get clean for. It's an MST issue. I mean, it's just so hard to figure out what to do right. I actually did go to a VSO organization, but they really didn't provide me any help. I had an appointment last week that I had to reschedule. They said they would call me this week, at the beginning of this week. I've never received a phone call from anybody else. And I've just been I'm trying to handle this MST issue. It really has my life going haywire. And I work with the public, and I have to deal with, basically those type of issues almost on a daily basis. And it's really getting to me. And I'm trying to get help for it.
Sure, Dennis. I'm so glad we connected because we're going to figure out how to get you help. I'm going to ask one of our MST-trained counselors to give you a call as soon as we can, so they can get in touch with you. I understand what you're describing, Dennis, and I'm really sorry to hear about this part of your journey as a service member and now a veteran. But we also want you to know we really appreciate and are respectful of the moral courage it takes to come forward. This enables others. You're opening the door for others to come forward and talk about this experience and, quite frankly, get our help, benefits, and health care as appropriate. So our counselor will call you. We have spent a lot of time in the last several years making sure our team is trained for this, to be understanding of the situation they're going through. So we'll work with you. Benefits are available. Health care is available based on your situation. We appreciate you talking to us, and they will get with you as soon as possible so we can better understand what's going on and how we can help. So, Dennis, again, we regret what's going on, but we'll help you and figure this one out. Please take the phone call from our team, and we'll figure out how we're going to help you going forward.
Thank you for the call, Dennis. For our next caller, we have Ramon on the line. Ramon, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Ramon.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, thanks. What's going on? How can we help?
I'm calling because maybe a few years ago, I did my claims for a number of things. I got my pension and compensation board. The doctors told me, hey, you should have had something done about this a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But when they sent it back to the VA said, hey, none of this is service related. And it's all because they did not have my medical record we've been trying to get my medical records from when I was active duty, and we keep running into brick walls. I've been fighting it. I tried to appeal it every time I call. Within that 90-day span after I got my letter, I didn't get through to anyone. So now I'm looking for some more help.
Okay, great, Ramon. Well, I'm glad you connected with us because we want to help you. And here's how we're going to help. I'm going to have one of our team give you a call and better understand the records we're looking for, okay? It's medical, it could be service records, it could be a whole host of things. Our team is pretty good at going and get records, okay? And so we'll try to figure out how to do that. I do know that some of the places where we've been getting records did slow down during the pandemic, but I don't think that's what you're describing. You're describing an inability to find records. So let's look in on this together, Ramon, get someone to help you and see what we can do. In addition, get the records. If you do need help with the claim or an appeal or anything like that, we can also enlist our colleagues in South Carolina to get you a service officer, again, no cost, to help you with that. But let's do the first step of getting in touch with you, Ramon, understanding what the records are and what we can do to help collect them and get this into your file, and then we can figure out what that would enable. So thank you, Ramon. I appreciate your patience. I'm sorry it's taken so long. We've gotten better at records. I want to manage expectations. If they are truly lost, I don't know what we can do. But we have a bunch of sources we can look and ways we can do that because we do this for, all veterans who ask us. So thanks, Ramon. We'll follow up with you, get more information, and see where we can go.
Thank you for the call, Ramon. For our next caller, we have Marie on the line. Marie, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Marie.
Hi, Doc. How are you?
Good, thanks. How can we help?
You know what? I'm extremely frustrated and disappointed right now with the VA. I'm an Afghanistan war vet. Before retiring, I was diagnosed years prior with plantar fasciitis. So I've been treated for that by getting inserts, getting any kind of treatment available. Some I paid for my own, like acupuncture. Since retiring, VA had that condition listed for a 5-year re-eval. The 5-year re-eval just came up. I went to QTC as directed, and I explained to them the way my condition was, that it still hasn't improved, that it remains the same, but that I do go to podiatry, I get my inserts, I get my specialized shoes, do the best that I can because my working out and everything has had to change. I mean, there are times when I get flare-ups and I'm not able to sleep at night. There are times in the mornings it feels like it takes me over an hour just to get myself together, just to get my feet together. And I have a son who's autistic that I have to take care of. And yet now, after my QTC re-eval, the doctor didn't even want to look at my feet. I went to take off my shoes, and the doctor was like, they didn't even need to examine my feet. And yet I get a letter in the mail from VA saying they're reducing my percentage for my plantar fasciitis to 0. Because I have inserts and because I have specialized shoes. At least that's the gist of their excuse. So it's almost as if when you say you don't want us fighting, you want to fight with us and not us fighting each other. But it feels like I'm fighting you to keep my own benefits, and now they're threatening to reduce me from 100%. Take away my 100% disability rating rather than making me 100% permanent in total. They're threatening to reduce my 100% because of that new reduced rating. And
Sure.
Their excuse is because I'm getting treatment. Now, that makes no sense to me. So I've asked for acupuncture. Whenever you had acupuncture, I tried to get it. There are times when, as you may well know, your budget doesn't allow for a lot of these additional treatments to be had. It's whatever the VA has in-house that we can get. I have had, as a result of my plantar fasciitis, my condition worsened to the point where I've had 3 knee surgeries, an implant, screws in my knees. I have lower back and upper back issues. And yet Now you're telling me that this plantar fasciitis that I still have to deal with because it doesn't go away is going to be reduced to 0. And my
Okay, Maria. Here's what we're going to do. I want to have one of our folks give you a call. Okay, we'll look in on this with you. So a couple things. I understand what you're describing about how difficult it's been, and you're right. I know it exists, and that's what saddens me because again, that's not supposed to be happening. But I'm glad you called because the purpose that we're connected with is because the purpose of these calls is trying to figure this one out and take care of our veterans. Okay, so let's do a couple things. So I'll have someone call you. We're going to look in on this. Okay, we'll better understand your situation. But I do want you to know that, we're looking on this and understand what's taking place and see if you're getting, the best care you can get from us and the best benefits possibilities, okay? But I do want you to know, and I explained this earlier, is when veterans are asked to come back and have their conditions reviewed again, there is a due process where veterans have, can present additional information. They are entitled to a hearing. There's a whole series of things, Marie. So, and there are some steps we can take. We'll have our folks give you a call. We'll look in on this, and if necessary, if you want some assistance, we'll ask for, I'll get you a service officer from the state of South Carolina. So, Marie, I'm really glad we connected. Let us get a chance to talk to you about this, see what's going on, and better figure out what's taking place and what the path forward is, and certainly explain to you what your options are.
Thank you for the call, ma'am. For our next caller, we have Mike on the line. Mike, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Dr. Lawrence. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thanks. How can we help?
Thank you. First, I want to say thank you for doing what you're doing. I greatly appreciate what you're doing for all of us veterans out here. Mine should be a pretty simple one, but hopefully you can give me some guidance here. Served 22 years in the Marine Corps, retired in 2008, injured in combat, was rated permanent in total. Got a letter last year, so I've been getting benefits since 2008. Got a letter in 2019 that basically said that the VA has been overpaying me since 2010 at having dependents, and the VA is basically claimed I didn't have dependents. So after a couple phone calls and them confirming that my children were still in the system, they said it had to do with the fact that I got a divorce back in 2010, got remarried in 2012, and during that 2-year period, of course, my children were still dependent age. I was told I needed a copy of the marriage certificate. I sent that in on 3 different occasions. I know that the VA received it because they sent me a follow-up letter to basically say that we're still rating you as not having dependents, and they're recouping money from me. I've even had my local county VA officer here send the information in and get involved with it. And I'm just kind of confused. I thought that a spouse and children were dependent, so I'm kind of at a loss here. I don't know quite where to go or what to do to convince the VA that you clearly, when I call them, they tell me they'll list my children. I thought children were dependents, even if it was a 2-year period where I had a divorce. So I'm just kind of confused in all this.
Well, Mike, to be honest with you, I'm confused too. So, the way you describe it, this is not how our process is supposed to work. So I'm glad you got a service officer, but it sounds like that didn't move the ball forward, as they say. Let us figure out how we can help. Mike, I know you were short through the description and really appreciate that. I'm going to have one of our folks give you a call. We got to look in on this and see what's going on. Based on what you described, I don't understand it either. Let's see if we can't figure this one out together and how we get this all to a good place. I'm absolutely glad you called, Mike. We got to look in on this and see what's taking place and explain it and figure out what the situation is and why there seems to be such discrepancy. So great, Mike. Thanks for calling. Sorry to hear about this. We'll give you a call. We'll figure this one out and see what's taking place.
Thank you for the call, Mike. For our next caller, we have Felix on the line. Felix, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Felix.
Hey, how you doing this evening?
Good. How are you doing, and how can we help?
I'm doing good. Well, my question is, okay, I was deployed 3 different times, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and Enduring Freedom, and I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder, but yet they keep telling me that it's not service connected, and I'm just trying to figure out how did they come up with that conclusion that it's not service connected.
Well, really good question, Felix, and I know that when we deny claims, we send you a letter, and I know sometimes our letters are complicated. It's a cross between, legal stuff and medical stuff, so I totally understand that. We really, should be giving you an explanation and then what your options are, Felix, and how to do that. So let's talk about a couple of things. So first, here's how we're going to help. I'll ask one of our team to give you a call so we can look in on your claim and see what's taken place and what the reasons were, okay? Then we'll talk to you about, what your course of action could be. You could ask for an appeal or a higher level review or supplemental claim review through the new appeals modernization process. But at a minimum, we'll ask our team to understand what took place and why you were denied. And then we can work on that together. If necessary, we'll see if you need a service officer to help you in whatever path forward you decide to take. We can help you with that by reaching out to the state of South Carolina and asking them to get you a service officer, and that would be available at no charge. So Felix, I'm really glad you called. You're right. Sometimes we present letters with information and it is unclear, and it does lead to confusion. But we can talk to you about it, we'll explain it, and we'll figure out what your options are and how we can help with that.
Thank you for the call, Felix. For our next caller, we have Gilbert on the line. Gilbert, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Gilbert.
How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing? How can we help?
Okay, I have several questions, but we'll do the main one. Hopefully, you guys will call me back for the other questions. So the first one I want to talk about is the HR 299, which went into effect this year, about the no limit on house loan,
right.
VA loan. And the only problem I had is I have a VA loan right now, which is I used up my 100% entitlement already, and so in order to use it again, it doesn't seem like I can use it, and I feel like I got, excuse my French, got stabbed in the back with this first loan because nobody explained to me how it was supposed to work, and so I'm kind of having a problem trying to maneuver around this whole thing and what's my best option. So my only option right now seems like in order to get another home, it's going to be a conventional loan, which I need at least a 20% down payment or something.
Right.
That's the first one, and the second one is do you guys got a main hotline number for customer service that's for filing complaints and stuff like that? Because I came across an issue a couple of weeks ago, and I got the runaround basically. So that's one, and then the third one is any easier way to file for my C file, to be able to get a copy of my C file without.
Sure, Gilbert. Okay, so Gilbert, let's figure out how we're going to help you. Okay, so let's start with your home loan situation. So you're asking about, can you get a second one, or what are my options? I have one now, and I see the new laws come out that makes another one more attractive. I want to get you in touch, and we'll reach out to you, have one of our home loan team give you a call to make sure we understand your situation, and we'll work with you on what the possibilities are, okay? So let us work with you on that. While the person talks to you on the phone, it might be another person, I'll ask them to also get all your questions and see what we can do to help you with a complaint or an issue. I don't know if it's related to the home loan situation, but we'll figure this one out, and we'll also tell you how you can make a request for your C-file and how that's done, Gilbert. So I'm really glad you connected with us. I do know that the home loan is one of the most powerful benefits we have for our veterans. It dates back to the original GI Bill, and with interest rates at this low period of time, we know veterans are purchasing homes, they are refinancing their homes, and if they run into problems, as it sounds like you're running into, our home loan team is there. So we'll have one of them call you, Gilbert, and see if we can't figure out what's going on and how we can help. But for others on the line, I really do want to let them know about our home loan team. They're available at 877-827-3702, and they do exactly what I was describing to Gilbert. Help, figure things out, deal with issues, because while we guarantee the loan, a bank or a mortgage company makes the loan. Sometimes there are just discrepancies, they don't understand, there can be problems and the like. So please call our home loan team, 877-827-3702, if you need help with your home loan benefit.
Thank you for the call, Gilbert, and thank you for that information, sir. Going to the next caller, we have Derek on the line. Derek, you're live with Dr. Lawrence.
Hi, Derek.
Hey, Dr. Lawrence, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How you doing, and how can we help?
Yeah, I just got a question about the CMP exams. It seems that every time I've filed a claim and I've had, my evidence and it goes up from my doctors and everything, and when I go to a CMP exam and then when I get my denial letter, it's like it's not even what was discussed in the CMP. And there was one time when I went to a CMP, and when I got in there, it's like they called me back. The lady asked me one question and told me have a nice day. So I'm not understanding how the CMP things work. It seems like it's against the veteran, not for the veteran.
Yeah, Derek, I'm really glad you called, because that's really not the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so let me talk generally, but here's what I do want to have happen, Derek. I really want one of our team to give you a call for a couple reasons. Let's look in on your claim and see what's going on. And if we have all the medical information we need from you to sort of either, grant or help you with an appeal or the like, okay? The other thing is I'd really like them to ask about, when you went to the C&P exams, because we really don't want it to be what you're describing. And we work with the folks who do these C&P exams a lot to make sure they understand the procedures, and also, quite frankly, they have really good customer service attitude with our veterans. Now, that being said, Derek, sometimes with all the medical information that the veterans have, the folks who do the C&P can be short because they are validating conditions that they see in the file. Now, I don't think they're as short as one question, so that is really concerning, and we need to learn more about that, Derek. But I'm really glad you connected because we do spend a lot of time. If veterans want to learn more about C&P exams, how to prepare, what to expect, if you go to our website at va.gov and in the search engine, the search bar, type compensation and pension exam or C&P exam, you'll be brought to a page that has videos, frequently asked questions, and a lot of material that will help our veterans prepare and make the most of the situation. But Derek, I'm not talking you out of a difficult experience or a bad experience. We want to learn about that and see how we can work with our vendors who provide these exams and make sure this doesn't happen to other veterans. I'm really glad we connected, Derek. Please take our phone call so we can find out about your own situation, what a possibility is going forward, and what we can learn about your C&P exams to make sure others don't have to deal with that. So thank you, Derek.
Thank you for the call, Derek. And, sir, that was our last question. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, thank you to everyone who called in. Boy, the hour went by really fast. Special thanks to those who asked questions. Really great insights from our veterans about, what they need from us in terms of communication and, quite frankly, what we need to do and improve in terms of how we support them. As you heard several times throughout the call, I mentioned we'll be following up, and we will do that. But I do want you to know, since I last gave an update on this one, we have followed it up with James. We're on the phone helping him with his claim. Richard, again, a claim update. William was talking about assistance. He was homeless, remember. We talked about him in a difficult situation. We're working with him to get him care, so we're on the phone with him. And Dennis, he was the one who talked about an MST claim, right? So we're working with him, scheduled a call to get him some help and assistance like he was describing. Our MST coordinator will follow up. He was apparently at work, so that we can imagine a difficult situation. We want it to be discussed in a comfortable and confidential. So we have connected with him, and we will be working with him. So we are really serious about this. To other folks we didn't connect with and promise to, we will follow up. If not later today, certainly tomorrow. So please, please, please look for our phone call. So again, thanks to everyone who called in, giving us the opportunity, or quite frankly, a second opportunity to make this right and get you the benefits you've deserved. Thanks also to the state of South Carolina, the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs, the Secretary, Major General Retired Williams Grimsley, and also Todd Humphreys. He's the president of the South Carolina County Veteran Service Officers Organization, CVSOs. They are really helpful in terms of providing service officers to our South Carolina veterans. So we really appreciate the partnership. It's been a long time since I got to travel to South Carolina and see those guys in person, but I hope to do it again sometime in the near future when we all can do that stuff. Now, JP, I know you're going to give our social media site so people can follow us, take the details, see what's going on. I'm on social media. On LinkedIn is my name, Paul Lawrence. I try to post important items about what's going on in VBA, information, resources, links, things like that. Please follow me. You can't connect. I'm out of connections, but please follow me. And every Friday at noontime, I post a short video called News You Can Use from VBA in less than 10 minutes. And in a few minutes, probably less than 15, I'll post a shorter video about some of the highlights and information we shared today. So thanks to everyone who called in and joined. Thanks for the folks who asked questions. We promise to follow up, and we will be doing that.
Thank you, sir. I just want to remind everyone how they can get more information on any VA program. You can visit us at va.gov, that's victoralpha.gov, or call us at 1-800-827-1000. A recording of this event will be available on our YouTube channel. In order to get to that, go to YouTube and search Veterans Benefits Administration. You can do the same for Facebook. Again, search Veterans Benefits Administration. You can get us on Twitter at VA Vet Benefits and on Instagram, VA Benefits. This concludes our Tele-Town Hall for South Carolina. A big thank you to all the veterans and family members that called in. Good night.